Hey everybody,
Good morning.
got a new adventure for you. Today we're back in the Hocking State Forest, and we are hunting for some arches in Ohio that we have not been to yet. Hocking Hills area and Hocking State Forest is absolutely loaded with them, but there's still quite a few that we've not been to. So the one is supposed to be an arch waterfall combination. And with the most recent rains, it rained all week last week. So we're hoping that the waterfall has some flow. So we're going to work our way down the trail and we'll show you what we find. Stay with us. So if you ever decide that you want to do this hike, just to give you an idea of like where we're at, we are parked on the corner of State Route 56 and Steel Road. There's a little pull off like right on the side of the road. And if you walk across Steel Road and go just up a little ways, if you look to your right, you'll see where there's like a little trail. It's not a very well-worn path, but you can still see where it starts. So should give you a pretty good idea as far as where to begin at. So follow along with us and we'll show you what we find. So this trail that we're on, it's definitely a man-made, like it's a user trail. It's not an official trail by any means, but so far it just kind of follows along parallel to the Queer Creek. But it's been super easy to follow. I mean, you can easily see where everybody else has gone over the years, but nobody else is out here, so I don't think we're gonna see another soul all day today. You can kind of hear some road noise, and that is because we're like down below the edge of the road, but the trail should venture away from that here pretty soon, and that shouldn't even be a thing. Oh, we just saw a watershed and it's looking pretty dry, so our waterfall may not have any flow on it, but I guess we'll see when we get there. So I'm standing above the Queer Creek, and it does have a little bit of flow on it. So who knows, maybe our waterfall will have some water after all. So even though this is an unofficial trail, some kind person has put some flares around the trees. So it's kind of making our pathway to find these arches a little bit easier. Somebody's clearly been here before, just hasn't been us. But pretty cool that there's some flares out here. So on our way to the arches along this user trail, we found a little cave. And at the very base of this cave is what looks to be a small arch. The opening is big enough on this end. I'm not sure if it's big enough on the opposite side. Go ahead in front of me with your light. And sadly, we didn't bring our headlamps today because
Who knew?
we didn't know that we would
There it is.
be finding a cave. However, this cave, clearly somebody's been in here because there's like mattress foam in here where somebody's been camping out. But if you see right here, there is a pretty good sized opening. Now, I think that's probably too small to be an arch. It's big enough on the one side, but not big enough on the other side. But maybe someday it'll be bigger. But
I think it ends there.
Jeannie is kind of crawled up in here. How much further deep do you think that is, babe?
I think that's dirt back there. So
Okay, so what do you think about maybe 15 feet deep, maybe?
Yeah.
Still pretty cool. Pretty cool little find. I mean, we didn't expect to see this today, so starter arch and a little cave. Pretty cool. So, pretty cool. We didn't expect to see a cave today, but it's pretty neat. But we're gonna keep working our way down the path and try to find these arches. So we've kind of come back deeper into this gorge, and we again saw where people spray painted flares on the trees like on the base of the trees. And yeah, so we just kind of looked like over this hillside, and it's not passable. So we got to go up this hill and kind of go up and around the ridge to get to all the things that we're looking to get to. So this trail, this hike, it's got an awful lot of elevation changes. Kind of reminds me of Fort Hill on steroids, but I guess that was a practice round for this one. But hey, it's okay, because we're gonna find these arches. We're gonna get there. So the flares we've been following, so it kind of took us to the end of this gorge. And you see right here, there's a wall. This is not a man-made wall. This is just like a rock bluff that comes down right here. And small creek comes over here. So I'm guessing that this is probably a waterfall when there's really good flow. But right now, there's not even a trickle. So I don't have high hopes for the waterfall that we're going to go find. But I will say this, it's been a beautiful hike. And I mean, and look at the sun and these trees. There's been a little bit of color pop as far as some color changes, but so far it's like everything's still pretty green. But it's been a neat hike. And I'm grateful for whoever flared this pathway, because it's really made things so much easier for us. But so far, pretty neat hike in Hocking Hills. So it might be kind of hard to see through these trees, but the trail that we just took us around this gorge. And if you could see that dark area, that's like a solid limestone wall that goes straight down. I'll bet you every bit that it's probably 60, maybe even 70 feet straight down. The trail we took us over the top, and I'm looking down at it below because we've now crossed like over the top of the gorge and are working our way back the other side. But I would love to be inside there because it's just gorgeous. But that terrain to get down there is pretty rough, but I think it can be done. It's like, and who knows, maybe we'll come back and do it anyway. But such a neat area. Hocking Hills, even though this is off trail, it never disappoints. And gotta say, it's so much easier to off trail hike in Hocking Hills than in Kentucky, because Kentucky, the off trail sections are loaded with rhododendron, and here you've got basically pine trees. So the big difference makes it so much easier. It's been a pretty pleasant hike, except for the elevation changes, but pretty cool so far. So working our way down the hillside to the couple of arches that we're looking for, we found another undocumented limestone arch. You know, it's like, so we saw like these flares going down the hillside, and we kind of figured that was kind of like the area that we needed to go towards to go to the arches that we're looking for. And I saw like a hole going in the ground close to a tree root. And I'm like, that looks like it's part of the rocks. It's like, and so we kind of climbed back underneath just to show you. Like, so Jeannie just climbed in there and measured it with our hiking stick, and it took the whole width of the stick from that opening. So it is a true arch. And just to turn around to show you just how big this opening is here on this side, it's pretty big. Yeah, I mean, so Jeannie's standing on the edge of it. That's the top of it. And that's the other side of the opening on this side. So this side of the opening kind of faces down towards the creek that we went over. But, you know, it might only be 4 feet on that side, but this side is probably like, more like 10 or 15 feet across. But it's pretty neat. New find. Yay. In Hocking Hills.
Yay!
So we just came down this ridge to get down to the bottom of the creek. And we believe our next couple of arches are up through this gorge according to our GPS coordinates. But not exactly sure where they are, but we're going to go try to find them. But we worked our way down to the very bottom of the ridge. There's just a little bit of flow on the creek, so it's not like it's a big deal to even cross over it. But man, look at these rock formations and everything down here. It's just such a striking area. It's absolutely gorgeous. Man, I'm so glad we did this today. Just wanted to show you the inside of this gorge area that we have come into. It's a pretty neat area. High rock walls on all sides of this. And somewhere in here, there's an arch. We just haven't found it yet. This area is just so striking. And right here is another little cave looking area. It's just a rock shelter, but pretty neat. I mean, it's probably a good 10 feet deep underneath here. Well, if you needed to take shelter from a storm, this would be the place to do it. Ain't no water gonna get you underneath here. Pretty awesome.
All right, so we're climbing around this cliff line, and I see this, which I think is an arch, but I'm not sure if it qualifies because of, it looks like there's stacked rocks here, so I don't know if it like is a fallen arch or anything like that, but I mean, it looks pretty archy, and I had to climb. I mean, I'm clear up in here. It's pretty cool. I'm not sure if that's an arch or not. I'm leaning towards it's a false arch where there's just rocks that fell on it and made an arch, but it's cool anyway.
So I wanted to zoom in on a distance so you could kind of see, this is the arch that we were standing at earlier. And from this angle, it kind of looks like it's looking at you. Pretty neat. Looks like two eye sockets, but definitely goes all the way through, and it's definitely an arch. Pretty cool. Have you heard? The hills have eyes? Well, in this section of Hocking, it most certainly does. Check out that face. Pretty wild. So we kind of followed along this ridge line back from where we found the undocumented arch, and found like another little cave going on the inside. It's not very deep. I think it goes back about 5 or 6 feet. But it's this really striking rock section. Really neat rock wall. It's just a really beautiful area out here. So cool.
So I'm pretty sure this is like right above there is where we came over this gorge. Like that's the end of the gorge, and we came over the top there. I am down here in the bottom. It's just a huge end of the gorge. It's like a rock wall. But it's pretty cool. I'm sure that is a waterfall when it's wet, because it looks like there's been water on it. And actually I can hear kind of water, but I'm not sure where it's coming from.
So this rock shelter that Jeannie found by accident, it very well may rival that of Old Man's Cave and Whispering Cave. This thing is huge, and there's one heck of an echo. Can you hear it?
Echo.
So inside this giant rock shelter, there's clearly a waterfall that normally comes down, and we can hear the water trickling. I mean, it drops down right around that area where you see the black rocks. But there is such a low trickle, hardly any water coming down, that the waterfall that we decided we're gonna go try to hit today, which is called Balcony Falls, we decided that we're going to tap out on it today because judging from the little bit of water that we've seen throughout the park, there's not going to be anything on Balcony Falls. And I'd really like to see it when it has some flow on it. So it would be like an extra effort to get there and then be disappointed by there being no waterfalls. So in the area that we were down in that gorge area down there, clearly it was an area where there was a waterfall that comes down when it's not so dry, but there was no water at all. So I think we'll just save it for another day, but still pretty awesome. This rock shelter is pretty incredible. I mean, and didn't know we would see anything like this today, but you never know what you're going to find when you hike off trail in Hocking Hills. On our way back to the truck, we saw this little section of rocks, and if you look, you can see the iron deposits and what is called lysogang banding coming out the side of the limestone. Pretty neat. Yeah, so one thing with this trail, there's been plenty of blowdowns. Some of them you have to climb over, and some of them you have to play limbo. But it's all good. So we think we've found the end of the trail and almost made it back to the truck. So we will see you back at the truck when we get there. Hey everybody.
Hi.
So we just got done with our hike. We did 3.5 miles, and we figured out that we probably went the long way.
Yeah, probably shouldn't have taken that long.
But by going the long way, we found a cave and some really cool things we wouldn't have seen otherwise. So it was totally worth it. The hike was awesome, and the whole area is just absolutely incredible. And we've only barely scratched the surface of this particular trail and all the different things that are on it. So we're gonna come back.
We're on that for sure.
Especially after a good rain when there's some water flowing, because everything today was bone dry. And so between that and Jeannie hitting a hornet's nest,
yeah, that was
we decided we had to cut our hike a little short today, but it's okay. It's like, because it was still an awesome day in Hocking Hills.
And look, I can breathe. We're good.
Yes. But that's going to do it for our adventure today. Thank you very much for watching. And as always, get out and hike. Thanks a lot, everybody. Have a great week.